Hey, what's up guys? So today I'm gonna attempt to install my Adro V3 spoiler today. Doesn't look too hard to do. You know, usually if there's something I can do myself, I genuinely would do it myself. So we're gonna take a crack at it, even though I'm kind of scared doing it on the carbon trunk itself. But as you can see, I did take off my old spoiler per the instructions you can get from adro.com. I'll put the link in the bio, but they want you to tape off the glass near the hatch just in case, I guess, so you don't break anything. But I did take the time to take off the spoiler. My old spoiler was like an old eBay-ish carbon spoiler. It was cool. It was cool for the time, but I took that off, got all the double-sided tape, which is quite a pain in the ass to get off, and I did my best to correct and polish the hatch as well, so it does look nice because there was a bit of contamination on there. Yeah, so let's get started. So as a precaution, because I noticed when trying to, align the spoiler, that it would cause some micro scratches, so I did pre-tape everything up where I think everything's going to be at, just so I don't scratch up the deck of the trunk, so to say, because I did spend some time polishing this. So yeah, got it all nice and taped up. Let's try and align this thing. All right, so that's where it kind of sits at the moment. I haven't put any, just got to put the markings down. I got to figure that out. I put a little bit of white paint at the bottom of it, I don't know. So I'm gonna get the markings so I can take this lid off and I can actually start drilling. But that's kind of a general mock-up of what it's gonna look like. Keep in mind the end caps over here and over there aren't on at the moment. I probably want to put that on at the end. But yeah, looks good so far. Just let's figure out these drilling points. Yeah. Okay, just a side note, I probably recommend having two people or another person help you with this. I did have my beautiful wife help me. She's not here right now, but I held down the spoiler actually in the spots where it's pretty good. It's pretty close. Might be a centimeter off here or two, but I think it's pretty good. We traced around it, and the instructions it recommends masking tape. I thought this was a little bit better, so I traced around it. I actually put some liquid, some form of wax on the end of the drill points, and then once I placed them in place, I just marked them with the pencil. So you can see there, right there as well. So those would be the places I drill at. But yeah, it did take another person to actually hold it down and then someone else to trace around it. And like I said before, I put a little bit of paste on the opposite ends, and then where the markings were, I just drew some circles. Alright, let's get to taking this deck off. So there's plenty of tutorials online how to take off this deck lid. So I didn't really show the process of going in and taking apart the plastics, but I usually, you can easily probably take this off and just pull it back, but I did the long way and just started with the bottom one, and then the two sides as well. There's a couple screws, but for the most part everything pops off. For me, it's a lot easier instead of having to use your hand to actually pry that one down. But either way, whatever works for you, it works for you. But this way works better for me, and it's not really too difficult to take apart. A couple minutes and that's about it. And there are 4 bolts that hold the deck lid in place. So we got 1, got 2. Oh, no, actually, I'm sorry, it's 5 bolts. 1 right there, that's 3, 4, 5. So you want to go ahead and remove all those. And that should loosen up the deck for the most part. But I do know, I remember putting some double-sided tape where the deck meets, or the bottom of the deck meets the actual hatch itself. So I'm gonna have to use a pry tool to probably get that off as well. So it is a 10mm bolt to go ahead and take those off. Just go ahead and make sure to be careful when removing them, because there's a washer, a couple washers in between. You don't want to go ahead and lose those. So just loosen as much as you can, and as I would just take it off by hand instead of actually using the tool itself. So there is one more screw that you have to get to, but you have to remove this little stopper here. So it is a star tool. I believe it's a T35. I think. Get this down. It's gonna show one more screw that's right in there. There, one more 10mm right there. Maybe it's a 10mm, let me see. It's a 10mm. Yeah, it's pretty deep. Yep, and just go ahead and repeat the for the other side as well. Like an hour later, this is always going to be the toughest part of getting off this deck lid. Just getting it through all that double-sided tape. It's been a while since I removed it, so it's like, I don't know if I put like super extreme double-sided tape on there, but it did take me a while. I had to use a razor to actually cut parts of it off. But we're getting there. So this part was pretty painful, to be honest with you. It's my first time using these kind of drill bits, but I used one of those circular drill bits instead of actually cutting it to get to the other side. And so it sucks, but drilling through carbon fiber, but you know, on the way. Now on to install the spoiler. Okay. After doing everything in reverse, wrestling around with the bolts a little bit, I call it complete. Now I'm not the best person for installs. I don't call myself the handiest person, but I more or less got it done. I think it looks okay. Would I do it again? No. I'd probably have someone else do it for me. It is the most intensive spoiler install I've ever done. Half the battle was getting off the damn trunk lid. And the second half was lining up the damn bolts. It's not perfect, and you can't really tell, but I'm satisfied with it. I'll probably fix it later on down the line when possibly, you know, paint the car. As you can see, my roof is not in the best condition. Kia doesn't want to cover it either. But yeah, wings on. Did it myself. It's about an 8 out of 10 to do. It's just very, very tedious for a spoiler install. Shouldn't be that hard. You could do it yourself, but I'd probably recommend doing someone else doing it for you. It's just too much of a pain in the ass. Alright. Just gonna take a little bit more stills of the spoiler. Close up. Can't tell with the little gap right there. I just couldn't get it to fit all the way, but you can't really see it. I do want to change the taillights to the updated version, but that'll be later on. And I did just get some AFE intakes. Gonna make a video about that. I got engine intakes, but I wanted something sealed. I know it's gonna be a little bit quieter, but less heat soak, I suppose. So stay tuned for another video. I should hopefully have that done within the next week or two. Other than that, guys, you guys take it easy.